Okay, you wino slaying zebra kissers. How's it going today? Friendly neighborhood Kamiko Z coming at you live via recording in Arizona. I'm feeling pretty good today. I don't say I've given up on the idea of trying to record every day, but I think I've given up on the trying to cover the last several days in a video sort of thing. It ends up becoming not really rote, but off the cuff. And I don't think that is necessarily a good thing to try to do. So I'm just going to be talking about like today stuff. Or last 24 hours stuff, I guess I should say. So I went and got some blood drawn for a 3-month checkup after being diagnosed with diabetes, and I was really worried, really nervous, a little bit scared. I was at my A1C was at 8.7 when I got diagnosed. And, the doctor was saying, like, if you work your butt off, then at the end of this year, you could be in a place where you just don't have to worry about taking pills anymore. And I was like, oh, that's great. I'm gonna do my best. And so for the last 3 months, I really haven't had any kind of processed sugar. The closest thing I've had to processed sugar was some like angel food cake. Really light, and very few carbs in the entire thing. But I've been trying to keep myself to about 100 carbs a day. I know there have been a couple days where I've gone over on that, but it hasn't been like an extravagant amount. I haven't had any normal soda. I've had only diet and diet-ish sodas. Drink water and like flavor enhancers for water. And I've also been working out. I have lost 50 pounds in the last 3 months, and actually just over 50 pounds, 56 pounds, I think. And so I went in after dedicating all this time, and I was like, okay, this is going to be like the dentist where I brush and brush and brush and brush and floss and do everything right. And I go back after, a year, and they're like, oh yeah, you got tons of cavities. I'm like, what the hell is up with that? Like, I brush my teeth, get cavities. I don't brush my teeth, I get cavities. I don't really see what the pull of the drive is here. So, I was worried that it was going to be like one of those scenarios. I do everything right, and I go in, and my A1C was going to be like over 9. And they were going to be like, oh, you haven't been doing a great job, and we'll have to back it off a bit on your carbs and all that jazz. And so I've been stressing out and freaking out about that on top of everything else that's been going on. Anyway, I went and got the blood drawn, and I got the results back last night. And I was very surprised and incredibly happy that my A1Cs was a 5.4, which is under where someone would be considered to be diabetic. It's within the range of normal. Like, if anyone watching this who's not diabetic went and got their blood drawn and had their A1C, you could have the same A1C that I have right now. And so I don't know what this means. I have to send the results to this doctor and then have him, I don't do like a phone consultation or an appointment or something. But I don't necessarily want to be diagnosed as non-diabetic anymore, because I think it's been very helpful health-wise the last 3 months to have that. Anyway, so I'm just I emailed the family medicine place in Orem and said, how do I send these to you? Can I just send them in an email, or is there a better place you want me to do it at for like HIPAA reasons? And so I'm waiting to hear back from them, but they're not open on Sunday, and that's what today is. So I'll have to wait for tomorrow or Tuesday. I don't know if they're open on Monday either. Anyway, so I went out and got like all the PVC that I need. I got 13 1.5 inch by 10 foot poles, and I could only find 8 of the 50 connectors that I needed for this design and build. And so I had to jump online and order all the other ones. That I don't want to start doing like all my cuts until I have like one of the pieces, like, because the way it's designed, I'm going to have basically the same length of PVC with all the attachments in between 8 times throughout the build. And so since I don't have all the connectors to confirm it's the right size, I don't want to do any of the cuts right now. I want to get one done and then build out all the other ones based off of those pieces. So until the attachments come, until all the connectors come, I'm just kind of in a waiting period. And it sounds like some kids are jumping on the trampoline next door and they're screaming every few seconds because they're just bored out of their damn minds. So yeah, that's what that is. Either that or it's an old woman sobbing uncontrollably. I don't know which one. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the PVC portion. You might see me sweat quite a bit today in this video because it's very humid today, which is weird for Arizona, right? It rained earlier. It rained a lot, and so now the entire area is just humid and muggy. So it's cooled off. It's like in the 90s, but it's 90s and super humid. So yeah. What I've been trying to find a power cord for this extra computer that I have, because I want to keep practicing coding after I started understanding a few things that I've had struggles with in the past. And so I can't find a power cord, so until I get one, I'm just kind of waiting. Right now, there's a lot of waiting going on. So, I played a few games online with friends and watched a few shows. I'm almost done with Community again, and so I actually just went through my Steam library and looked at all the games that I have in there to see which ones I wanted to play. And I found that I had a solid state drive internally in my system, which I haven't been using, and it's about 240 gigs worth. So I started filling that up with some games. I booted up Final Fantasy X. The first time in a long time today. I was thinking about playing Final Fantasy VII, but knowing that the remake is out there, I know I wouldn't be super happy playing just the original right now without playing the remake. So I booted up Final Fantasy X, and actually Final Fantasy X has a weird place in my heart. I served an LDS mission in Canada over in the Maritimes. And my first area was a place by the name of Truro, Truro. And weird place, great place, wonderful people. But while I was there, the strategy and the focus of missionary work for the church was changing a little bit, was shifting a little bit. And so there are a lot of old rules that were going away and a lot of new systems that were being brought in. Anyway, it was a very weird time to be a missionary. And there's a quail over there. Anyway, so I wonder if he wants a Cheerio. And that was stuck to the table. Anyway, I had a companion at the time when I came across a well, it was a store, it was a gaming store, but you could also demo games there for like $10. And I saw that, so this was in like 2003, and Final Fantasy X, I think, was the most recent Final Fantasy. So I told my companion I wanted to go there. We went there on a preparation day, and I paid like $10 and played Final Fantasy X for an hour. That's as long as I could take for it. And so I paid it, and I played the first hour of Final Fantasy X, and I loved it. And then the next preparation day, we went back. My companion wasn't like super excited about it, but I got an hour, he got an hour, and then we had our other preparation stuff for the rest of the week, laundry and cleaning and stuff like that. And so, I played the first hour of Final Fantasy X probably 8 times, 9 times. I know that sounds a lot, but you don't really get to game a whole lot while on a mission out of principle, out of discipline. And I just really enjoyed the graphics and the opening video of that game. So I booted that up, and I just got done playing the first hour of it. All sorts of weird nostalgia coming through. And I remember, like, I've never beat the game before. I remember when I got home from the mission, I got the game and I started playing it. And I got to a point in the game where you could play this blitzball game inside the game. Like, there are mini games and sub games for all these, like chocobo races in Final Fantasy VII and the card game in Final Fantasy VIII. But in this one, it's like it's called blitzball. But essentially, what you do is there's a sphere of water that players are playing in, like soccer or football for the people who invented the game, and then you have 2 goals on either side of the sphere, and you use this rather large ball. It's almost like one of those weighted slam balls that you get out of the gym, and you kick it around and punch it around, and you tackle people or hit people like in hockey. And so you have these 3 passers and a goalie, and so it's a 4-on-4 kind of setup. And so your character swims up and down and around, and you try to get the best angle to shoot it in. And so I was like, I like this mini game, I'm going to keep playing it. And I played it a bunch. I think I played the mini game more than I played the actual game. And at the end, like, you can go through like an entire league of this, where you have AI combatants that you're playing against, and AI teams, and you can recruit and level up and get all these great characters to play. And I remember doing it because there are a few items and a few skills you can only unlock if you get to a certain point in the game of playing blitzball. You can actually get better abilities for the actual game by playing the minigame. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. And I got the greatest things, but there were still a few games here and there I was losing, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to stop playing this minigame until I have just dominated it an entire season of this league. And I did. Played it a bunch. I got the best players. I got it so that any of my characters could shoot the ball from anywhere in the sphere and score automatically. And it was tons of fun. When I got done, I was like, okay, I'd done it. And I backed out. And all the next mission prompts for the actual storyline of the game were gone. Like, I didn't know where I was supposed to go. And I tried running around and figuring it out, and I couldn't figure it out, and so I just got frustrated and stopped playing. So I never actually finished the game. But I was sitting there the last few days, and I was like, I used to love all these other games in the past, because just of the way they were set up and the way they were played and the way that it felt and the way that it made me feel. And I was looking at games, newer games coming out, to kind of fill those desires for a game and just haven't been able to find any. So I thought, well, why do I need to find a new game? Why can't I just go back and play the old one? So then I saw that I had purchased a remastered version of Final Fantasy X, so I booted that up. Yeah, and that's what I've been playing, and I've really been enjoying it. I like their sphere grid upgrade system for the game. And I was also thinking, I loved, I think it was 2007, Tiger Woods, where you get to create your own character, and your first character that you make is just horrible. Like the furthest they can drive it, you're supposed to be like a 24-year-old young man, and the furthest you can drive it is like 210 yards. But the more you play with your character, you like the better hits you get in a row, the better you get at that particular club or that kind of shot. And as you play the game, as your natural ability or your talent in playing the game increases, your character also increases. And throughout the game, as you're playing against NPCs like Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods, who are phenomenal at the game. And so at the very beginning, you're getting like 50th and 60th in tournaments because you're just not that good. And the further you get in and play it, the further you can drive, the more accurate you are with all of your shots. And and toward the end of your career, if you ever stop playing, you're competing against Tiger Woods, and you're giving him a run for his money. Now, the skill of the Tiger Woods NPC doesn't necessarily go up, at least at the same rate as you as a character do, but it gave it a kind of like a realistic feel to it while playing the game that's just not real. And I really like that aspect of it. And I played other Tiger Woods since then, and they've just been meh. Not great. In order to get your character better, you have to buy better gear, and the gear comes from in-game money. And some of the gear you can only buy if you spend actual money on to get special tokens to get in-game gear. And so, before the pay-to-win aspect of the games made its headline and debut into gaming culture, I thought the games were just great. But ever since they've introduced this pay-to-win mentality, I think games have really deteriorated in their playability and enjoyment. And there are some games that are out there that are like, oh, you have, if you play it enough, you can have the same experience as someone who pays for the material, except the amount of time it takes to actually get to that point is a long time. And if you need that kind of stuff to have a good time, and you're signing up to have a crappy time up until you've played for like 2,000 hours. And that just doesn't sound like a good time to me. So I don't typically sign up for those kinds of games. So I am going back and revisiting some of my old favorite games, and it's just been a lot of fun. It's been a blast. Now, when I get my chords and stuff that I need for the system, I'm hopefully going to spend some weekends doing some programming and getting my skills up there. But it's going to be a little bit before I can get there. Anyway, I just wanted to let y'all know that I've been doing really good. I've been happy. I've been motivated. I've been trying to keep myself busy when I'm having to wait around for things that I really want to do. But all in all, I'm doing well, and I hope you are too. Just whatever you're working at, keep working hard at it. Know that there's a semblance of happiness and peace around the corner. Just don't stop waiting for it. And if you haven't read that a book called Who Moved My Cheese. I recommend that you do. It's a good book. Short, you can do it in an afternoon, but it's a thinker. It's one that gets you thinking. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope you're having a great day. Make sure you find a reason to smile today and see if you can help someone else do the same. Okay, see you in the next video.